The Legal Fuel Speaker Series, Better Lawyer, Better You. Legal Fuel is the practice resource center of the Florida Bar and a benefit to Florida Bar members. This ongoing speaker series will feature seasoned leaders from Florida's legal community who represent a wide spectrum of legal expertise and practice. With a focus on the fundamentals of today's legal practice, topics include finance, technology, human resources, marketing, client development, and day-to-day operations of your law firm. The Legal Fuel Speaker Series is brought to you by Florida Lawyers Mutual Insurance Company. Florida Lawyers Mutual, defending the reputations of Florida attorneys since 1989. Go to flmic.com to learn more about the company created by lawyers for lawyers. We are now proud to present you the following.
Hello, everybody. I am so excited to talk to you today about how to grow your practice and career with social media because everyone seems to be on some form of social media these days, including you. Whether you're a senior partner at your law firm who's starting to use LinkedIn for the first time and not sure what type of content to post to get referrals, or a 7 to 10 year attorney who wants to build their book of business so they can become partner, or a first-year attorney who's looking to dive in and make an impact in their legal community so that they can become a leader in their local bar association. We're all using social media in some form or another. But we may not know how to use social media to grow our practice and grow our career. All of us have different goals for our practice. Some of us want to attract new clients. Other ones want to become a leader in our local community so that we'll be recognized for the next bar position. Some of us want to become go-to experts. Regardless of what your personal and professional goals are, I'm going to share with you today principles, strategies, and techniques that you can use to apply to your practice to accomplish your personal and professional goals using social media. And that's why we're here. My name is Ethan Wall. I founded the Social Media Law Firm, the world's first law firm dedicated exclusively to providing solutions to social media legal issues. I also teach social media and the law at Nova Southeastern University's Shepherd Broad College of Law. I also teach Social Media 101 on behalf of the Florida Bar to all of our incoming attorneys during their Practicing with Professionalism program. And I've authored 8 books on the effect of social media on the law, including the Social Media Guide for Lawyers, and my newest book, Social Skills, How to Attract More Clients for Your Law Firm Through Social Media Marketing. But that's not why we're here. We're here because all of us are using social media and we want to be able to accomplish our individual goals and objectives. We might be using sites such as Facebook, MySpace, or Twitter. Now, by a show of hands, how many of you are using social media in your practice? Did you really raise your hand? You know that I can't see you. I am inside of your computer right now. Don't worry, there's always one. It's okay. Now, of the folks who are using social media right now, are you on MySpace? Probably not. Let's get that out of there. But we are probably on LinkedIn. Now, why is that important? It's important because about 10 years ago, when I first started practicing law, MySpace was one of the most widely visited websites on the entire planet. But now it's relatively obsolete, with the exception of children, people in the music industry, maybe you, I don't know, but we're more likely on sites like LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. And that's important because we need to know what social media platforms or tools there are that we can use to help us to accomplish our objectives. And it's also important to know that there are new social media sites that pop up all the time. One of the most popular ones these days is Instagram. Here's how the Florida Bar Young Lawyers Division uses Instagram to promote the wonderful things that they're doing for the practice of law and the Florida Bar. As you can see, the Florida Bar Young Lawyers Division posts photographs of their attorneys in community service, helping to deliver educational CLEs, and even this picture right here at the top, where if I click on it, you can see Christian George, the newest member of the Florida Bar Young Lawyers Division, to be sworn in as president of the bar. And behind him, Santo DeGangi, our president-elect. We're so proud to have you guys at the helm, and we're also so grateful to our past president, Zach Zurowest, for all the wonderful things you've done for the Florida Bar over the years. Okay, enough brown nosing. How might you use Instagram to help with your practice? Well, let's take a look at mine. I have both a personal Instagram account and also one for my firm. As you can see, I might post pictures of me speaking at an event, or if I post a new blog or article, or if I scroll down my Instagram profile, you might see me on places like NPR or CNN when I'm talking about social media legal issues. This becomes a powerful tool because I know that my friends, followers, and people within my circle of influence know who I am and what I do without advertising and being in their face all the time. Let me give you an example. You see this photo right here? Let's zoom in on this one. This is a photo of me speaking to the Dade County Legal Aid Society on how to grow their practice using social media. And I can see that over 200 people have liked the picture and several people have commented on it. And this is helpful because it gives me instant feedback that I know that my audience is aware that I deliver speeches for a living and that I practice in the area of social media and the law. And I receive helpful comments as well, including that one right there on the bottom from Deborah, who says, "Abogado guapo." That means she thinks I'm handsome. Thank you, Deborah. I'm going to go ahead and throw that a like. There we go. Now, what else can you tell from this picture? Apparently, I'm wearing almost the exact same outfit in that picture as I am here as well. So maybe it's time for a wardrobe change. I don't know. But that's just one of the many ways that you can use social media to promote yourself and your practice. But this brings up a really big question. There's Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and all these other social media platforms out there like Avo or Snapchat. How do we decide which social media platforms that we should use? Or should I be posting from my personal profile? Should I create a law firm profile? Do I have to have one on every single platform? Do I post pictures? Do I post videos? Do I post photos? Do I post blogs? The answers seem to be infinite. So how do we decide what social media profiles that we should be using to accomplish our goals and objectives? Most people think that I should just get started somewhere, like create a LinkedIn profile, fill out all my information, post an article that I wrote 7 years ago, and hopefully business is going to start rolling in the door. And when it doesn't happen, they give up. And that's typical when people use social media without figuring out their end goal. And that's why I believe the key for all of us, regardless of where we are in our careers or our experience level with social media, we should always start with the end in mind. So why start with the end in mind? Consider this. Let's assume that someone walks into your office and they were injured and you want to take them on as a client. A skilled litigator likely starts with the end in mind, meaning we start with what do we want to say at our closing argument? How are we going to convince a jury to find for our client and compensate them for their injuries? And then we work backwards to say what depositions, discovery, or witnesses do we need to locate and find in order for us to be able to tell that story at our closing argument. And then alternatively, if we don't have a witness that can help us, we know that we need to change our strategy and find the evidence another way. But by starting with the end in mind, we can put in place the right strategy to help us to accomplish our client's goals. Similarly, if you're a transactional attorney and you're negotiating a complicated agreement, you would start with the end in mind. You'd say, what is the ideal agreement for my client? What are the terms and conditions that they would be most happy with? And I start there. And then I work backwards to find out what are the right types of deal points that I should be including within my negotiation to try to get to the best possible end result. Well, guess what? The same principles apply with social media. When you start with the end in mind by figuring out what do you want to accomplish with your practice, what are your marketing goals, what are your personal and professional goals, then you could figure out what the right strategy is in order for you to use social media to help you accomplish those goals, to help you to answer things like what social media profile should I be on, how often should I be posting, etc. So let's help you start with the end in mind. I like to ask myself 3 questions. The first question is, what do you want out of life? I know, that seemed to be a big picture existential question. Where did that come from? You thought we were here just to talk about social media. But let's think about it. When we start by thinking what it is that we want out of life, it helps to guide all of our decisions. With health and wellness being so much of a big issue in our bar today, and dealing with the stress of our practice, this sometimes comes because people put our firm and our practice goals first and our life goals second. And therefore, we might spend all of our time working or billing hours or dealing with difficult opposing counsel and not making enough time for the things that matter most to us. So I always say, start with the end in mind, meaning what do you want out of life? For me, the answer was simple. I wanted to explore, travel, read, write, help other people, and explore this really interesting intersection of social media and the law. So making decisions for me came easy. I developed a law firm that helped me to focus solely on social media, and I get to spend my time teaching and speaking and helping people in an area that I'm interested in. Your dreams, your ultimate goals will likely be different, but I suggest you start there. Then ask yourself, what are your personal and professional goals and objectives? Meaning, how can you use your law firm, your practice to help you further your overall life goals? Maybe your goal is to be the owner of a law firm that makes millions of dollars and you have luxury yachts and houses and you're able to help big catastrophe clients and make a lot of money in the process. That's cool. Maybe you want to spend your time fishing and have a smaller practice that doesn't take up much of your time but leaves time for your friends and family and your hobbies. That's cool too. But figuring out what your personal and professional goals are going to help you to figure out how you can use social media to accomplish your goals. And that's the third step. Ask yourself how sites like Facebook, Twitter, and MySpace can help you accomplish your marketing goals. Now, since all of our goals are different, I'm going to give you some common examples of what you can do regardless of what your goals are so that you can apply these strategies and techniques to you and your law firm. Let's say that your goal is to attract more clients for your law firm. It's probably a goal for a lot of us, including mine. So what type of strategies could you use on social media to help you attract new clients? Well, let's consider this. Let's say that you practice family law, personal injury, and probate law, meaning you have maybe a smaller law firm where you're a solo practitioner or a couple lawyers within your practice, and you want to get in front of your personal and professional network, people who know you, so that when it's time for them to have a divorce or need a will or have help, let's say, with immigration type issues, you're top of mind. If that's your goal, then your strategy should be to stay top of mind with your personal network. And you can do this by sharing quality content on a routine basis and engage with your peers so that you're top of mind when they need help in those areas. Let's show you how I might do that. I would start by sharing occasional content on my personal social media profiles. For me, Facebook is my social media profile of choice for this. Why? Because I'm connected with all of my friends anyway, and they use social media all the time, so why not share regular updates about what I'm doing in the community so that they think of me when it's time to hire someone relating to social media. So I might post things such as filming videos for my new website, or speaking on NPR about the latest trends in social media and internet law. I might also post things about me competing in the CrossFit Games, or this post right here that says that I'm in New York about to deliver a 7-hour speech in the city that never sleeps and then eat all the pizza. For me, this strategy works because I like to be very personal with my content. While some people think, well, shouldn't my content always just be about business and be professional? I always say on social media, that's not the case. Meaning, we want our content to be social. Just like clients hire people who they know, like, and trust. In the real world, the same thing happens on social media. So I personally believe that a blend of personal and professional content that tells people a little bit about what I do without hammering them over the head with marketing content is an effective strategy for me. But how might you apply this strategy to your practice? Let's highlight a fellow member of our bar who I think does it really well. My friend Saman practices immigration law in South Florida. And as you can see, she posts photos of her volunteering at networking events, asking people what questions they have about immigration law, and of course, volunteering with organizations such as the Cuban American Bar Association and their pro bono division. By sharing this type of content on a regular basis, Saman can attract clients for her law firm because she stays top of mind by sharing personal and professional content and engaging with her peers. Think about how you might want to apply that strategy for you. Now, what's one thing that you should never, ever, ever post on Facebook? Maybe something like this.
Permanently injured, I'm Lowell the Hammer Stanley. Slow pay, no pay insurance companies know me well because I am the hammer. They are the nails. I've been hammering them for more money for victims for 30 years. More benefits, higher cash awards. I hammer them nearly every day, and I'll hammer for you if you'll just call me. 459-CASH, 459-CASH. Get what's yours. Call 459-CASH. You call, I hammer.
Okay, so maybe exploding cars in the background while yelling your law firm's phone number is not something that you're going to do on social media. Trust me, I get it. But maybe your goal is not to attract new clients through your personal network. Instead, you want to become the go-to expert in your area of law so that when big companies and corporations need to hire somebody for a serious issue, you're already top of mind. Let's talk about how to become a go-to expert in your area on social media. Let's say the goal is to become the expert in, let's say, commercial real estate. And the strategy that you want to use is to educate commercial real estate firms and other CEOs and executives in the commercial real estate industry about your area of law so that you're already known as the go-to expert before a situation arises. The tactic that you might use is to share articles, blogs, and tips to potential clients in the real estate area. And let's say that you wrote this blog right here. This one's about short sales, and you want to educate people about whether or not you can purchase some real estate prior to a foreclosure sale. And you want to get this in front of as many people in the commercial real estate industry as possible. How might you go about executing this goal? I recommend you use LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the more professional social media platform, and so it's better to use when you might be targeting people that you don't know, but who are in the relevant industry that you want to reach. I'd start by taking my blog and sharing it on my LinkedIn profile. If I'm already practicing commercial real estate law, I'm likely connected to many people on LinkedIn in my personal network, meaning I've met them at networking events or have communicated over time and added each other on LinkedIn. So by posting that blog on your LinkedIn profile, you're getting it in front of your relevant connections. But not everyone on your LinkedIn page is within commercial real estate. What if there was a way that you can reach a much larger audience with your prospective client and do it directly through LinkedIn? Let me show you how. Do you see that search box up on the top? I'd start by typing in commercial real estate into the box. And by doing so, you're going to see a list of a lot of relevant search results about commercial real estate. One of them being groups about commercial real estate. And when you click on that, you're going to see a series of different types of groups of people on LinkedIn who are all interested in commercial real estate law. And as you eyeball this list, you might find this one right here in the middle for the Commercial Real Estate Referral Network. And when you click on this group, you might find that there are over 20,000 people who are interested in commercial real estate. And while maybe not all of these people are your potential clients, you know that if you could get that very same blog, not just in front of your personal network, but to potentially 20,000 people who would be interested in your content, that's going to help you take the fast lane to becoming the go-to expert in your area of law. So I would take that very same blog, and I would also share it within the Commercial Real Estate Network group. Now, it's important that you just don't share information about you. That's like going to a networking event and just saying, hey, I practice social media law, and hey, I can deal social media policies, and hey, nice to meet you, let's do lunch. No one wants to just interact with someone who only talks about them. It's also important to interact with other people within that group. But by liking their comment, reading their articles, making introductions within that group, and commenting on the things that other people share, people are going to get to know you and then like you because you interact with them, and they're going to trust you because they'll see you as an independent expert in your area of law. And that's the power of how LinkedIn can help you to become the go-to expert in your area of law. Now, let's say that your goal was slightly different. Let's say instead of becoming a go-to expert, you wanted to take a leadership position in your local bar association. Maybe you're a new attorney that's just getting started and wants to get on the board of directors, or perhaps you've been practicing for 25 years and you want to be appointed to a committee, a very important committee within the Florida Bar that's going to help you further your professional goals. How could you use social media to help you take leadership in an organization, either legal or business or community or otherwise? There's someone that I think who does this exceptionally well that you'd benefit from following. And who's that? Yeah, you guessed it, our Florida Bar President, Michelle Suskauer. Let's say instead of becoming the go-to expert in your area of the law, you want to take a leadership role in your local bar association. This could be true whether you're a new attorney who wants to cut their teeth on the board of directors of your local bar association, or if you're a more experienced attorney with maybe 20 to 25 years of experience and you want to be appointed to a committee on a significant bar association, business association, a community association, whatever it might be, that's going to help you to further your goals. Let's see how we can accomplish this on social media. So first things first, our goal is to become a leader in your local bar or any other type of community association. The strategy is to create awareness for your service to the bar, and you can do this by promoting local events, activities, and initiatives. By becoming that go-to resource where people see that you're involved in your local bar association by volunteering and posting photos of you at events, or if you're sharing information that's going to be useful to other members of the bar, you'll already be thought of as a leader when it's time to make a committee appointment, or if there's an election for your local bar's board of directors. So, there are many people out there that you know that serve as leaders in the bar, but there's one in particular who I believe does this exceptionally well. So let's take a look at her as an example. Pretty sure you know who it is. It is our Florida Bar President, Michelle Suskauer. As you can see, she has a Facebook page that's dedicated exclusively to her professional activities as president of the Florida Bar. And she leads by example by showing you how you can use social media to become that bar leader. As you can see on her Facebook page, she's posting pictures of herself attending professional events and congratulating other people in the audience who take a big part of their time to give back to the community or are recognized for an award. She might also tag other voluntary bars or people who participate in their bar association to help create a sense of community. By tagging people in your post, meaning showing other people who was at that event or who was at that photo, they'll engage with your content too. And their followers or the people in their network are going to learn more about who you are and how you give back so that you're seen as a leader in your community. Michelle also shares relevant information about what's happening in the Florida Bar, including the Florida Bar News. Now, your local bar association might have its own publication or its own events or its own updates. And by you being the one sharing that to your personal and professional network, people are going to know that you're a standout leader within your bar association and turn to you the next time there's a vacancy on the board or if there's interest in being appointed to a particular committee. And how can you tie all this together? Take a look at what Michelle does. She might post a photograph of herself speaking at an event and then tagging the Florida Bar and other people like former Florida Bar Young Lawyers Division President who had shared her photo, Catherine Hurst-Miller, who posted it on social media. That's how everything gets tied together. When you take an active role in your local bar association or do things that are impactful for the community, that's awesome on a big level. But when you share that information on social media, now your personal and professional network also knows that you're a leader in your field, that other people trust you to get the job done, and they're going to think of you the next time there's a vacancy on the board of directors or there's a committee appointment. Now, what is one thing that you're not likely to find on the Florida Bar President's Facebook page? Maybe something like this.
Glenn Lerner, where are you going?
Working.
Glenn Lerner, what are you doing?
I'm working.
Look, it's Glenn Lerner. Hi, Glenn.
Working.
Oh, el abogado Glenn Lerner. Yeah.
Working.
Hey, Glenn.
Working.
Glenn Lerner is the way to go. Call 877-1500.
And you wonder where all these lawyer jokes come from. Now, we've talked about some big picture type goals, attracting clients, becoming an expert, getting involved in your local bar. The options of what your personal and professional goals are limitless. So picking the right goal for you is the great first start. But once you pick that goal, the next step is to select the right strategy, because as you've seen, there's many different ways that social media can be used, and depending upon your strengths, your interests, and your goals, there's many ways that we can use social media to accomplish our objectives. So let me give you a few examples. Let's say that there's so many different things that you could do for marketing, like writing blogs, publishing articles, speaking engagements, media appearances, video FAQs, networking events, you name it. There's so many ways to get involved. But let's say that you enjoy, let's say writing blogs, or you're featured in the media a lot because you're a go-to expert in your area of law, or maybe you got a great result for one of your clients. What strategy might you use to help promote these different activities? Let me give you an example. Let's say that I'm being featured on NPR to talk about social media law. I like to take a three-step approach. First thing I like to do is preview my upcoming event. So I may post, as you can see here on Facebook, a sneak preview of when I'm going to be on NPR and what the topic is so that people can stay tuned and watch it in advance. And as you can see, I've shared this on my professional profile, meaning I've created a Facebook profile for Social Media Law and Order, and I've shared it there in addition to my personal profile. The next step is, once I attend the event, I write a blog about it. And I'll put a link to the actual program within my blog. Now, why do I do that? A lot of people may be on, let's say, NPR, or they'll be in the news, and they'll include a link to the story on some third-party website. I think sometimes that could be a mistake. Meaning, we want people to ultimately come back to our website, not only to learn about our NPR appearance, but also learn about the services that we offer and other ways in which we can help. And by writing a blog about it, we can then post that on social media and direct traffic back to our website, as opposed to directing people to a third-party website. So step 2 would be to write a blog post about the event. And then step 3 is sharing that blog on social media. What I may do is take a photograph while I'm at NPR of me behind the microphone, and then taking that exact blog post and putting it in the link and said, hey, you missed the last episode of me on NPR? No problem. Click the link to find out more. And people would go back to my website where they can read the blog, listen to the story, and that's my 3-step process if you like writing blogs or want to promote something that you're doing out in the media or in the community. Now let's say that your goals are slightly different. Let's say that you do lots of speaking and networking, and you want to show people that you're a leader in your field. How might you use social media to promote these types of things? I believe the strategy is to collect photos and videos of you at events and sharing them with your network. For example, I might share this photograph right here that says how excited I am to talk about social media to the Florida Bar. And as you could see on the bottom, about 4 minutes ago, my friend Sherry Shook posted, "That's awesome." So I know that I'm getting instant feedback, that people are seeing that I'm out in the community doing things, and I get immediate feedback that they've seen my content and that they enjoy it. And I mean, come on, how could this photo not be awesome? Look how authoritative I look standing there with those 2 gentlemen in the front row soaking up every word I'm saying. That's awesome, right? Now, check out the three women in the back. I'm pretty sure this woman is reading, this woman is sleeping, and this woman is knitting a sweater. And she's only in the third row of a live program. Are you out there sleeping on your computer? Come on, people, wake up. It's social media we're talking about. That's just one example of how you can use social media to promote yourself at networking events. I thought it's kind of awesome. But what's not so awesome? What's never a good strategy to share? Probably things like this on your personal social media profiles.
Hi, I'm Steve Miller. I've been a trial lawyer in Florida and Massachusetts since 1985. If you and your spouse hate each other like poison and want to get out of the hellhole you call a marriage, you've come to the right place. Look, you can waste your money screwing around with some paper pusher paralegal type, give thousands of dollars to some piece of crap three-piece suit downtown, blow your brains out trying to figure out why you wasted $25 on the crappy forms you bought from the illiterate boob at the courthouse, or do what I say and do it now. We know what we're doing here. Look at this website, a work of art. Here's the story. Pay us a little and we get you a lot. Don't worry about the details. We'll take care of business and let you know when to crack open the champagne. Okay, time to move on. Go to the Get the Divorce page in the upper right corner, pay up, and you're on your way to getting rid of that vermin you call a spouse. We're here to help. Divorce EZ, a Florida law firm.
Regardless of what strategies we use to help us accomplish our goals, it's always important to keep in mind that our social media use as attorneys is always governed by the Florida Bar Ethics Rules, particularly the rules on lawyer advertising and solicitation. So let me give you a few different social media ethics rules that you can apply to your use of social media regardless of what goals you have or the particular strategies that you decide to execute. Rule 1, assume that your social media profiles must comply with the Florida Bar Ethics Rules. Now, there was a 2013 Florida Bar Social Networking Guidelines that sets forth how the ethics rules may apply to our social media use. And one of those rules did say that if you have a personal social media profile that is used solely for social purposes, then your profile may not be governed by the Florida Bar rules. But I would really heed that with caution. Why? Consider this. There are many different ways that you could be using your social media profile in a way that wouldn't solely be used for social purposes. What if you list yourself as an attorney, or post your law firm as an employer, or check into a courthouse, or attend a networking event, or congratulate a colleague about a result, or publish an article that was in a local journal, or an award like Super Lawyers that you might have received? Does your personal profile then be considered no longer solely for social purposes? It's really hard to say. It's a gray area and there's no specific Florida Bar ethics opinion that governs it. Therefore, my recommendation is that you presume your social media profiles, both your personal and your professional ones, must comply with all the rules regulating the Florida Bar. If you have that presumption in mind, you'll think twice before posting something, and it will be a safer way for you to network and accomplish your goals. The second step is not to solicit your friends and followers. The solicitation rule, as we know it, is called direct contact with prospective clients. And basically the rule says that we as attorneys cannot directly contact someone and ask them to hire us for attorneys unless they fall into a small exception, which are current clients, past clients, family members, and people with whom we have a professional relationship. Some people think that just because we're friends on Facebook or a connection on LinkedIn, that we have a sufficient professional relationship so that we can solicit them for business. And the answer generally is no. If you take a look at the comments to the direct contact with prospective clients rule, we can see that the definition of a professional relationship is pretty narrow, and it likely would not extend to any Facebook friend or LinkedIn connection or Twitter follower that you might have. And so, while it's okay under the Florida Bar rules to share content on your timeline or on your profiles that may be seen to everyone, you must be really careful not to send someone a direct message or comment directly on somebody's picture or status update that solicits them for business, because you might find that you have inadvertently violated one of the serious ethics rules. And what's the last takeaway that you should have? It's make your second grade teacher proud. What I mean is the same rules that apply in elementary school also apply on social media. What do I mean by that? Things like be respectful. Sometimes we disagree with the judge's ruling or with the opposing counsel, but we don't want to share those types of rants on social media, because once it's posted on Facebook, it's potentially never going away. Not only might that affect your professional integrity and what people think about you, it also might trigger rules regulating the Florida bar as well. Also, you want to be careful. We don't want to inadvertently disclose confidential information. And while I don't expect that any of us out there are going to take a client email and post it on our Twitter profile, spoiler alert, don't do that. Sometimes we do have maybe an unusual meeting with a client and we want to post about it because we want to see what our friends and peers might think of the situation. But in doing so, if we don't think twice before picking up our phone and making that type of status update, we might find that we have inadvertently violated the Florida bar ethics rules. And then it doesn't matter what your goals are or what strategy you use, because one big mistake like that could cost us our professional reputation. And it's just not worth it. So it doesn't mean don't use social media. It doesn't mean don't use social media effectively and be on different types of profiles. What it does mean is that we just need to be responsible, to use social media in a way that helps us to accomplish our goals and pick the right strategies that tailor our unique strengths, but be careful about what it is that we post online and be mindful that the Florida bar ethics rules do apply to our personal and professional profiles. Now, the question for all of us is, where do we go from here? All of us are at different points of our career. We have different experience levels with using social media, and we have different personal and professional goals. So what's a good three-step method that we can use regardless of our familiarity with social media and regardless of our specific goals and objectives? I recommend following this three-step method. Step 1, ask yourself, what are your professional goals? Of course, we want to start with what are our life goals, but we want to think about what are our professional goals. Maybe it's to attract new clients for your law firm. Maybe it's to become a GoTo expert, or maybe it's to become a leader in your local bar. If so, wonderful. We've talked about some specific strategies that might address that during our program today. But if your goals are different, feel free to use the principles and strategies and techniques to help further your specific goal. The next step is to select your most important goal. Oftentimes I talk with lawyers and they say, I want to do so many things. I want to get new trademark clients, and I want to become a judge, and I want to write 7 articles and be on 5 different platforms and have a podcast and write blogs once a week. And I say, that's wonderful. All those things are going to help you to accomplish your goals, but it's also a lot. And I find that when we have too much going on with social media, nothing gets done because we ultimately get distracted. So once you really and carefully reflect on your professional goals, I say start by picking your most important goal. And then step 3, developing a plan to achieve your goal. You can use the structure that we've set forth in our program today to help you to select the right strategy and then the right tactics to help you apply that goal. If you can use some help figuring out what these steps are and how to apply them to your practice, I have a short guide that may be helpful for you. It's my 5 steps to developing your social media marketing plan. This is a short workbook that's going to help you, regardless of what your goals are, to figure out what are your next steps to get from goal to strategy to using social media to help you to accomplish that goal. It's a simple 5-step plan, regardless of what your goals and objectives are. If that would be useful for you, feel free to reach out to me anytime. You can see socialmedialawandorder.com. Somewhere on the screen. Maybe it's here, maybe it's here. I'm not sure. It's been on all the bottom of the slides, but feel free to come by and check it out. and download that guide and implement it for your practice. Now, we have talked about many different social skills today, but if there's one lesson that you should take away from today's program, and that's it, nothing else, what is that one lesson? That is, I don't want you to run down the street holding an American flag with bombs exploding in the background while your law firm's logo and phone number flashes across the screen. Why? Because someone else already did it first. Check them out.
Brian Wilson, Texas Law Hawk, Talons of Justice. Brian Wilson, the Texas Law Hawk, Hunger for Justice. Brian Wilson, the Texas Law Hawk. Notice complaint. Open up, or everyone's going to jail.
Doesn't he need a warrant?
Y'all got 5?
I don't know.
4, 3. Someone just called me. 2. You know you need a warrant for that. Know your rights. Call Brian Wilson, the Texas Law Hawk today. Brian Wilson.
Have you or a loved one been arrested? If so, call Brian Wilson, the Texas Law Hawk today.
Brian Wilson, Texas Law Hawk.
I hope today's program has helped you to identify your goals and learn how you can advance your career and your practice using social media. If you can use additional help, I recommend checking out Social Skills, my newest book on how to attract more clients for your law firm through social media marketing. I hope you had fun today, you took some information away, you enjoyed the videos, and maybe one day, even you and I could become friends on Facebook. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great day, and I'll see you on social media.
Legal Fuel connects Florida bar members with strategic tools designed to help you fuel your law practice with increased efficiencies and profitability. Whether you want to launch a new firm, better market your services, or strengthen your internal operations, Legal Fuel provides attorneys with the resources you need to run your business smarter and more efficiently. Visit LegalFuel.com today to help manage your practice and fuel your business.